Hi, this is Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons. We're going to talk about Radiant Citadel. They just dropped Chapter 1 on Dungeons & Dragons, on D&D Beyond, and here's what this video is about. I'll tell you right away. I'm trying to get quick at telling you the point of the video right away. Okay, so here we go. In my humble opinion, Radiant Citadel has created a new genre, and that new genre is called Grim Pastel. Okay? Alright, so you may be familiar with the term grimdark. There are a lot of tabletop role-playing games that try to be grimdark. I'll name a few. Warhammer. Warhammer, I think it's 2E, very grimdark. Okay? OSC. A lot of people use OSC to do grimdark content. Lamentations of Flame Princess. Grimdark. Call of Cthulhu is definitely a grimdark, a grimdark tabletop role-playing game. There's quite a few. There's quite a few grimdark tabletop role-playing games. But Radiant Citadel has left all of these behind with a new genre, which is Grim Pastel. Okay, so Grim Pastel is an absurdist new genre, which I think Dungeons & Dragons is incredibly special. And one of the reasons why is the most charismatic, confident, intelligent people in the world are on Dungeons & Dragons. And because of that, Dungeons & Dragons is a rock, right? That it's flint, right? And other brilliant creators are striking themselves against it, right? So one, the indie scene strike themselves against Dungeons & Dragons. They're like, oh, I can do better, right? And then they strike themselves, and a spark flies off from Dungeons & Dragons, and it creates something like Zweihander, right? Zweihander is simply a spark that came off when Daniel Fox struck himself against Dungeons & Dragons, right? Zweihander's all about Dungeons & Dragons, and and Daniel Fox going, I can do better, and so and then now what happened with Radiant Citadel is all these brilliant creators came together and they struck themselves against the rock that is Dungeons & Dragons. And what came out is not a new source book, it is a new genre, right? So grimdark goes beyond tabletop role-playing games. Many tabletop role-playing games are grimdark, right? But there are grimdark shows, like literally the show Grimm, right? Some other grim dark shows. Stranger Things is very grim dark. Okay, that's a dark show. It's very grim and very dark, right? So grim dark goes beyond. Oh, and there are bands, right? Metallica is grim dark. That is grim dark music. Okay, so the genre goes beyond Dungeons and Dragons, right? And now Dungeons and Dragons has introduced a new genre to the world, which is Grim Pastel. Now, what is Grim Pastel? Well, first of all, it is a cultural curveball. So Radiant Citadel is an incredible, absolutely incredible cultural curveball. For months, they presented that this was going to be kind of like a peaceful era, kind of a peaceful location, and also Wild Beyond the Witchlight presented, combatless, an adventure you can get through with no combat, right? Radiant Citadel, it looked like it was going to be devoted to peace and equality and inclusiveness. Absolutely not. Where the Radiant Citadel is the most powerful weapon ever created in Dungeons & Dragons. The Radiant Citadel, in my humble opinion, is a civilization destruction engine that can be used by non-player characters or evil player characters. Incredible. Nothing like it has ever been created in any version of the game, right? And you're like, hey, Scott, what are you talking about? Well, you can see it in the video link below, right? If you don't know how Radiant Citadel established itself as the most powerful weapon ever created in Dungeons & Dragons, you can check it out. You can check it out in the link below. But that creation, right, making Radiant Citadel by far the most, the darkest, most gritty book anywhere to be found in all tabletop role-playing games. Not just every single version of Dungeons & Dragons, but Lamentations of Flame Princess is weak sauce. That's a strawberry shortcake game. There's nothing in Lamentations of Flame Princess that will allow a player character to end every single living being in a civilization with one action, right? Nothing in Lamentation of the Framed Princess is even, nothing in Mork Borg, right? Nothing over anywhere on the OSR is even remotely as gritty as what the Radiant Citadel has established, right? They have made a tool that a player character can use to destroy every living member of a civilization, no matter how far from their homeworld they've traveled. Nothing in any game ever did anything this dark, right? And that, but they wrapped it in all this performative inclusivity, right? Performative inclusivity is actually shrouding the darkest Dungeons and Dragons book ever established in any version, right? And far surpassing anything to be found in the OSR. Welcome, in my humble opinion, to the rise of Grim Pastel. That's my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.